In Cold Blood by Truman Capote. The story begins with an in-depth look of the family that will be murdered, the Clutter family. Herb and Nancy Clutter were both known for their good deeds in the town of Holcomb, Kansas. Herb was the president of the National Association of Wheat Growers. His daughter, Nancy Clutter, was one of the most well-known high school students in the county. She was involved in many activities such as 4-H, teaching piano lessons, and teaching younger children how to cook. Nancy's brother Kenyon was also in high school and mostly stayed at home tinkering with electronics and other machines. Their mother, Bunny Clutter, was always sick. She was in and out of the hospital and was just starting to get better before she was murdered. The murderers' names were Perry Smith and Dick Hickok. They met in prison and Dick came up with the idea of robbing the Clutter family. Dick's friend in prison gave him all the details he needed to carry out his plan. On November 1959, Perry and Dick broke into the Clutter house in the middle of the night. When they didn't find the safe they were looking for, they took each member of the family, tied them up, and killed them one by one with a shotgun shot to the head. All except for Herb, which had his throat cut before being shot. The detective that ended up solving the crime was Alvin Dewey. He was an investigator for the KBI, the Kansas Bureau of Investigation. Although Dewey is not one of the main characters, he is in the book quite often. The story tells about what steps he had taken in order to find out where Perry and Dick were during the murders. He spends so much time on the case that his family life suffered tremendously. There were many themes in the book. Things like nature versus nurture, retribution, sexuality, and fate were the biggest themes that stuck out. A symbol for nature versus nurture is shown by the upbringing of both Perry and Dick. Perry has had a rough life. His life started off rough in the sense that he was taken from his father by his alcoholic mother, which later killed herself by aspiration. He was moved from home to home by his father and was never allowed to go to school. Although he was never allowed to go to school, Perry was portrayed as a very intelligent person. He taught himself many things, including how to play the guitar and harmonica. He was also born a very gentle, kind person. Perry and his father were constantly fighting because Perry's father used him for work whenever he had the chance. Perry decided to leave once he was old enough to survive on his own. Whether it be the terrible upbringing by his father, or the way he has had to be a drifter his whole life, has changed Perry into the murderer that he had become. Dick, on the other hand, was not brought up any worse than the average person. He was from a farming family with good parents. He visited his parents as often as he could. Although he didn't have a bad childhood, something made him into the criminal that he had become. Another theme present in the book is retribution. The city of Holcomb just wanted someone to be arrested. They didn't see how someone could get away with such a horrid crime. The most eerie thing in the town is that any one of them could have been the killer. But when they saw the killers 4 months after the murder, they were surprised to see that they were even human. Sexuality is a small but constant theme in the book. Hickok was attracted to young women. Most of the time, however, he preferred to go after young children. Smith couldn't stand this feature about Hickok. He had to prevent him from raping Nancy Clutter just before she was murdered. It was also said that Capote and Perry Smith had some sexual encounters whenever he was interviewing Smith. This is why Smith hung out with Dick. He said that Dick was a masculine person and he was just the guy he needed to hang out with in order to make him look less homosexual. Fate is the last of the themes I am describing in this book. The way Smith ended up committing the murders was really a sign of fate. Having pneumonia as a child reunited Smith with his father, who kept Smith out of school since a very young age. Or, more importantly, Smith missed his friend Willie J. at the bus stop by only a few hours, which would have indefinitely led to the departure of Smith from Hickok. I will be discussing 3 symbols present in this book. One is the golden parrot. When Perry is in trouble, he often sees a golden parrot who he gives a divine power to. The parrot is a symbol of Christianity, vengeance, and the divine. Perry will call the parrot Jesus once he is delirious. The next symbol present is 2 gray cats. These cats are seen by Perry while he is in jail, and they come out every night and pick dead birds to eat. Perry can see that this resembles his own life, as he has lived on the outskirts of society and picked what scraps he can as well. These 2 gray cats represent Dick Hickok and Perry Smith. The final symbol will be the coffin-shaped building where Perry Smith and Dick Hickok will spend their last days. This building is the Kansas State Penitentiary where death row is located. The men were put on trial in Garden City. They both underwent a psychiatric evaluation and both showed signs of mental illness. In spite of numerous appeals as well as allegations of mistrial from Dick, they are hanged on April 14, 1965, before a crowd of 20 witnesses.